Okay, so I've been working on this track. I kind of started in the SP. I started in the OP-1, and pretty much from these chords, which I created in tonality and then Bluetooth the chords in. No, I created it in tonality and then I used mood units in the iOS, which is also on the phone, and I sent that into here to play the chords. Put a little ambient reverb on them, etc., etc. Made a beat. Didn't care for the beat I put together, and hold on, let's see. Messing around with that. Did not like. I just think that I don't know. Play beat it'll grow. Maybe if I spend a little more time with it, it'll grow on me. And I think it's good for like little percussive stuff, that if you want something different. But I think it would not be my go-to. I'm so used to just doing the drums, and I use a lot of simple drum patterns that I don't really feel like I need that much intricacy in a drum step sequencer. But I think I like it to some degree when you want to do something quick or you want to mess around and try to come up with some other pattern. It might inspire me some way, maybe later. It's just not hitting me right now. Anyway, so you saw me start that there. You've seen a couple videos where I've done the process, brought that over right here, then built from that to this, right? Why is it copying? No, exit. Added some hi-hats. Simple. Played the hi-hats in live using 50%, right? Quantization. I could have probably done it with 0, but I was doing an 8-bar, and I felt like if I messed up really, really bad, it could sound off, and then I have to do the whole thing over, and I didn't feel like doing it. Or I'd have to go in and, by the way, I use step sequencer on these kicks and snares. I usually play them in, but it was kind of cool just messing around with. I think I used step sequencer on those. I know I used it on the snare. Can't remember now if I used it on the kick or not. Whatever. Anyway, got to drums. Then I added in a melody using the OP-1 played into the SP. Running everything through the lo-fi. So instead of using the lo-fi effect like I did on the first pad, I used it and then resampled it. I just played it in through the effect using the input setting. To me, that saved me a lot more time. Trying to resample and then you got to chop it. Well, I guess it's whatever. It's about the same. Either way, the way I do it is the same flow. It's just when I went back and played the melody, I used a grand piano versus using the mood thing. And that's the melody you hear over the background. Which I think is kind of good or neat in a way to use different melodies. Like sometimes you would just use the piano, same piano for the chords, the same one, which I could have done. That's in here. I could have easily did that. But since I started with something else, just kind of migrated to whatever it is right here. And then the last video was 40 minutes, so I'm gonna try to make this one a little shorter. So then I pulled out my bass guitar, because the reason why this setup, to me, I like it a little bit better. I'm gonna push this forward. You can see right here, if you can see my hand, I have my guitar plugged in. Or right now I don't have my guitar, but I have my bass plugged in. And I just used the bass and recorded this bass line. And now I have my guitar plugged in. Man, it's pouring down raining outside. I was like, wait, did I put a textural piece on this or something? So now I'm just jamming, right? And I'll probably add some guitar later. I like doing the idea of doing the guitar into here, but I might do it here straight into the computer and just use it that way, because if I'm gonna do the one thing about so the one thing about samplers, groove machines, in my opinion, is when you're trying to do a solo in them, it could get kind of tricky. Actually, it could get tricky on anything. It could be in here and be complicated, but it's a little bit harder in here, in my opinion, because I have to play, and then if I make one mistake in there, it's harder to clip everything in here. It's a lot more work in here to cut and do all that. So what I find myself doing is using this more for like setting up the basis of how the song will be, more like the chords, maybe a melody here or there, because I can do a little 8-bar melody or a lead, and then the bass line, if the bass line is going to be, you know, just a kind of set groove that's 4 to 8 bars, then I'll do it in here. But then when I want to get stuff like where I'm trying to play a full-on solo in something, then I'll find myself going back to like Ableton, because it's just easier on a DAW to sit there and finish it. But if I record through here, instead of recording through the duet, which is usually what I use, I actually can keep the same sounds, and it's easier that way to me if you do that. Like running this through here makes it easier for me to use these effects versus using the effects in here, which they have a few, but like if I'm just, or the reverse, right? Or the tape stop. This one's like a, like kind of like rocking it back and forth. I don't know what they mean by that, but then you have this one, which is a low pass filter. I still don't know what this is. I thought it was gonna be a high pass filter or something. I don't know what that thing is. I gotta figure that out later. But anyway, so this is an ideal setup for me, because using SP, because it gives me everything I need for inputs directly into that. I don't record vocals or need mics for that. If I need a mic, I'm actually probably leaning towards using the OP-1's mic, because it actually is really good. So, and it's pretty clear. So I would use this over going out and buying a mic for me, because I'm not like a singer or anything like that, so I don't need it. And I like for instance, if I needed to record, I'm gonna turn the guitar off just so it doesn't bleed through the sound or start making a bunch of noise. Give me 1 second here. I'll show you what I might do for like just recording a snap or something, you know, something like that. So if I go to the drums and I hit here, now I can sample. So I could just turn this to mic. Oh my gosh, turn that down. Okay, that's loud. Okay, really loud. All right, so maybe I wouldn't record it this way, because this is gonna bleed. So I'll put the USB in, right? Okay, let's go to the mic. Now we talk. All right, there we go. So now we got some volume. I'm gonna bring this down though, just so it doesn't go too loud. Maybe there. And we should be able to, let's get out of pattern mode. Test, test, test. I don't know if it's coming through. I can see it here, it's coming through, right? I can see on here it's coming through. I guess you got a whole sample to really hear it. Test, 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 test. This is just a test. Blase, blase, whatever. All right. Just test. Then you could like turn it up, whatever you want to. Just test, 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 test. But to get it in here, I'm gonna have to change the input, I believe. It's actually set to external, but for some reason it doesn't pull the line. So let's get out of pattern mode. Let's go back, shift utility. I just gotta figure out the setup of how this goes. So right now it's set to mix out. So I wonder if I go line in. I'm not hearing it. Let's just pick a pad over here. Okay, we're gonna exit out of that. That did not work. So I got to figure it out, but if I know there's a way to use it. I know it'll obviously come out here, but I thought for sure that the USB would record, because I think I was showing you how I was recording earlier with the USB. So I got to figure that one out. It's something I'm doing wrong, I know, because I know it works. But anyway, I just wanted to show you kind of my flow of what I'm doing. And I'm probably going to do this a lot more right now for a little bit and use the Ableton to finish the song. So maybe start it in here or in wherever. It can be here, here, phone, however. Bring it through. If I use the iPad and I don't want to use the OP, that's rare, but don't want to use the OP, then I could just run it straight into here as a sound card and just plug in, right? Or I can just run the USB-C straight to there. But I got to figure out why the USB-C is not, it should still be recording. So I find it kind of weird that it's not recording in, because I should be able to just turn it on. See how I see my voice? See how I see my voice? See how I see my voice is projecting through it. So now the question is, why is it not coming out of this? I know if I plug this in, I'm going to hear it automatically, but I don't want it to squeal. See, it's going to squeal because I have speakers going too, and I think it's picking up the volume from here as well as those speakers. And I don't have a way to mute the speaker, unfortunately. Well, see, and that's the other thing. Like if I use the sound card, I can mute the speaker because it has that ability to mute it. So I could record and do it that way. But at this present point, I don't know how I would do that other than just record in regular. Turn off the mic. Test. Okay, yeah, so see, I don't want to go sample because I'm not really trying to sample. I just want to be able to record in. So let's see if I turn that up all the way. Test. See, there's nothing plugged in, so it should be hearing me. I don't hear myself. That's something weird too I have to figure out, because usually like when you record in, you would hear yourself at some point coming through this mic, and right now I just don't. So I'm not sure why that's the case. If I pick track 3, I should be able to just, if a microphone is on, I should be able to hit talk through my song some kind of way. See, it's not recording. So this is a OP issue that I'm not understanding, because I have nothing hooked up, and I should be able to still hear myself. So I will have to go probably into somewhere. I'll turn that off. I'll have to figure out why it's doing that. That's beyond my thinking, I reckon. Input, okay. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so that's it for this video. I just wanted to show you kind of my workflow. This is kind of like what part 3 today I've done, just to show you all this different stuff, but a lot of stuff is just happening, and I'm like, oh, let me record that right then and there and put it on. So I don't want to keep you longer. I have to figure that out. As soon as I figure out how this all works more cohesively, I'll do a video with more like an update video to show you what I figured out. And that's it.